Hey friends, here I am, Amy Cesario, Realtor in Denver, Colorado. One of my friends told me I did a live video last week and they didn't recognize me without my hair. I guess I had a ponytail in. Not I guess, I had a ponytail in. I was walking and had my sunglasses on, so I thought I'd say my name right away this time. This is your weekly housing update. I have done a monthly housing update. Your May one, I put that on YouTube, and I put a quick short synopsis here on Instagram. And this one is your weekly monthly update. And we have a lot of talk going on, a lot of talk going on. So I'm hearing in other cities, like they're already feeling the impact of the interest rates all over the country. I'm hearing that things are just dropping out of the market, like everything is going away. The buyers have all gone away. I have read kind of some disturbing headlines. So let's talk specifically about the Denver metro area and what's happened in the past week. Today is May 11th, 2022. I'm going to give you our numbers from this week. I'm going to give you our numbers from last week. And I will jog my memory. But if you have been following me on Instagram, I have been giving you weekly updates since the beginning of February. So you can watch those numbers directly. You can go back to my Instagram page and you can look at the numbers. I have tried to track everything and been pretty diligent as I can because I knew that we were going to have a roller coaster year. So we are definitely mid roller coaster. Interest rates, one of my buyers locked in a 5.75 Saturday, or that's what it was on Saturday, so maybe they didn't lock it, but their interest rate was a 5.75 on Saturday. She's got great credit and not much debt. So obviously, I mean, just the interest rates are somewhere around that number right now. Remember at the beginning of March, interest rates were about 3.1, and I can't remember at the beginning of April. I just did those stats. But anyway, let's talk about today's numbers. So this morning when I pulled the numbers, we've got 584 coming soon houses, condos, townhouses coming soon to the market in the Denver metro area, 584. Last week we had 474. Which was down a little bit from the week before because remember, Mother's Day, things slow. We have like a little bit of a slowdown usually on Mother's Day. New listings came on the market 2009. Last week we had 2168. So our new listings are down just a little bit. Our actives, 2379, 2,379. Last week it was 2526. So we had more active last week than we have active this week. This week we've got 3,085 that went under contract, and last week we had 3,300 go under contract. So we were down 300 of people going under contract. And again, that's partly because Mother's Day, and that's also partly because we had 2,000 come on the market. So it wasn't like we had 5,000 or something coming on the market. And then we had 2,076 sold. And the week before we had 2678 sold. So solds don't matter so much in this instance. We want to keep tracking what goes under contract. The solds are going to vary from week to week because more solds happen at the end of the month. So I don't want to concentrate on that sold number. You want to concentrate on that sold number at the end of the month, not during the week and the week to week. But what these numbers are telling me is we haven't slowed down yet. These numbers are telling me the interest rate has not slowed down the overall market. So the interest rates may slow some buyers down, but not all buyers. I just sent out a text. I don't even know where my phone is. I just sent out a text to double check what one of my lenders, a couple of my lenders, if they're still seeing. But this is what I'm hearing is that, and this is what a couple of my clients have looked at, is doing an adjustable rate loan instead of a 30-year fixed. I think last week when we made that other big jump, or the week before, our buyers put on the acceleration. They're not stopping. They know they need to get a house in the Denver metro area. And we're just talking about the Denver metro area, let's remember, because there's things happening in other cities, and I'm reading about them, that it's much, much different than Denver. So, but we're seeing some acceleration from our buyers who know that they've got to buy this year. If their intention has been to buy, they're figuring out their numbers, like we've got to get going this year, 5.75, or doing interest rate, or doing an adjustable interest rate. Because there's a couple things that are going to happen. We know we're going into a recession. The buyers that I'm working with have those jobs that nothing is going to happen to their jobs. They're needed jobs, or they're self-employed, and what they're doing, there isn't probably going to be any hesitation in the market for them as far as their job goes. So we're going full steam ahead. My buyers and we're going full steam ahead with them. At 5.75, we know from history that a recession is not bad for the real estate market. And there's a bunch of us who went through the last recession that was a housing crisis recession, but that's not what we're going through. We're in some sort of a housing, I don't want to say crisis, but we're in a housing crunch right now. But the recession has nothing to do with housing. So just remember that. Now, what happens typically in a recession, as a reminder, is the interest rates will be lowered so that people can afford houses. What we're seeing now is an anomaly. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but we haven't seen this before when our active inventory has been so low. So we're still at record. I mean, this isn't a record year. We had lower inventory last year than we have right now. But this is pretty low. We're in an extreme seller's market. So sellers wanting to sell this summer, there should be no hesitation here. It's a great time to sell. Buyers, yeah, a little bit nervous. You need to look at your whole big picture. But if you don't think there's going to be any problem with your income, then I don't see any reason to not buy right now. Buy what you can afford, because what's going to happen is we still have such little inventory. Last week I was looking for a statistician to tell us when they think that market will change. Well, the market's really, to be in an equal market, buyers and sellers, we need 6 months of inventory. We have less than 1 month of inventory. So we need more than 6 times what we've got. So we've got 2,000 active. We need more than 12,000 houses on the market. And I don't know when we're going to be able to feel that shift, that we're going to go into a more equal market. But right now we're hovering at 2,300. Let me put my glasses back on. Yeah, 2,300 houses on the market. So there's no way we're moving into a buyer's market or we're moving into an equal market. We've got to get to the equal market before we get to the buyer's market. So buyers, the numbers are going to be all over the board for the next few months as far as your interest rates. The interest rates will drop when we go into a recession. If it's anything like the recessions that we've seen before, the interest rates always drop, because that's what keeps the economy moving. And I did hear from a couple lenders that from their sources, the people that they're watching, that interest rates are going to flatten out this summer. So in our sales meeting this morning, a couple of the agents piped up and talked about a couple of their buyers dropped out. They're either in the lower end of the price range, or they were just in a price range where they need a bigger house and they just can't afford that house. So it doesn't make sense for them to buy a house that's too small for their family. So those would be the buyers that we're seeing drop out of the picture. If you can buy a house and maybe it's a little bit too small, it's still a good idea to buy right now, because the rate that houses are continuing to rise at is that a sentence? Okay, I hope my mom wouldn't slap me for that. But the rates that they're continuing to rise, don't say the at. She just told me not to say the at. That is going to outweigh the amount of money you can save to bank on the lower interest rates. Now, if you're on the cusp, wait. But for most people, if you can afford just to buy a little bit smaller house, buy it. Because we're still, I just can't imagine that we're not going to see a 10%, even an 8% increase, even a 12% increase. And every neighborhood is going to be different. So that's another important thing to talk about here. And this is why it's so important. If you want to buy right now, I don't care what city you're in, find a realtor. And if you are in another city besides Denver, let me know. I've got realtors from all across the country who can help you. But if you want to buy in the next year, you really need to start working with your realtor and your lender now. You need to know everything on your credit. You need to know your ratios. You need to know what those numbers look like. If the interest rates were to drop, you want to be able to go. You need a realtor who knows the market and the numbers. You need to know the neighborhoods that you're looking in, what those numbers look like, because some neighborhoods are going to appreciate at a 25%, and some neighborhoods are going to appreciate at a 10%, and that's how we get to that 17% average. And so the type of house, the price range you're in, the neighborhood is all relative to you and what you want to do. So even though I'm giving you these updates kind of as a whole city, what's happening in the city, if you are really on the verge of wanting to buy or sell, call me. I'm happy to talk you through whether it's a good time now or not. I've actually told one of my sellers a couple of weeks ago that she should keep her house one more year if she can, because of the neighborhood, because of the size of house it is, and because the amount of rent that she's getting in it right now. She bought a house from me last year, and I said, don't sell it. And next year, I think, is going to be her year. So I'm one of those who will be perfectly honest with you. If now is your time, now is your time. Again, we're seeing houses come on the market every single day. We had 2,000 houses come on the market in the Denver metro area in the last 7 days. Active, 2,300 active, 3,000 went under contract. The market is still moving. There has not been a slowdown here in Denver. So let's talk about Denver real quick and about holidays and about timing. So it is just after Mother's Day. Mother's Day, we have a little bit slower weekend on Mother's Day. I didn't look at our showings this weekend to see if we had fewer showings because of Mother's Day. But our under contract was down by 300, so we potentially did. Memorial Day is our next big day. So I've got a house coming on in the next in the next day or two, and we were pushing to get that house on before Memorial Day. To me, Memorial Day is another transition time in a normal market, but we aren't in a normal market, but we're still going to use that date to see how things are going. So things start to slow down again at Memorial Day, and then by 4th of July, if people have not taken their vacation, which they are right now, I am seeing people taking amazing vacations. I'm really super jealous. I want to be on one of those vacations with them, and I probably need to set one up for myself, and I'm sure so do you. Hey Nate, hey Heidi, thanks for watching with me. So Memorial Day is one of those benchmark dates, and then July 4th. So you want to get your house on the market between now and really like mid-June if you can, if you want the highest price of the year. Prices will flatten out again after like August, September, October. That's what they did last year. We saw a little blip up again in October to November, and then we just had such little inventory in November and December of last year that most of us had buyers, but we didn't have any houses for them to look at or to purchase. So it'll be interesting to see how this year goes again, because if people get nervous about the recession, they might not put their houses on the market. If they don't put their houses on the market, that just means that housing prices are going to continue to go up no matter what the interest rates do. So I know I wish I had a crystal ball, and sometimes I feel like if I'm saying these numbers, I'm kind of projecting what I think is going to happen. But after 23 years in the business and seeing the ups and downs, this is part of what we see. And I've never tracked my numbers this closely out loud to anybody before. I like to track the numbers, but not like doing these weekly. This is like has been really actually fun for me. And I feel like I have such a pulse on the market, and we could do these in any of your neighborhoods that you're looking in, whether you're selling or buying. Well, selling is kind of hard actually, because there hasn't been a lot to track. Even in the house that we're putting on the market in the next day or two, it's in the low 500 range, and there weren't very many comps for me to find a listing price on this one. So, sorry, that was one of my lenders texting. He doesn't have an answer for me on one of the things I asked him. So, but we'll get back to that. I think I need to have another lender on next week. If you guys have any more questions for me or things that you want me to share, let me know. I think this summer is going to be not like any other. I'm kind of wondering if we're going to have a few weeks of people trying to figure things out like we did at the beginning of COVID. Do you remember when everybody was just kind of radio silent there for a few weeks, and then everybody went gangbusters again? I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be interesting. I hope that this information has been valuable to you in some way, whether you share it with your friends, or if you want to call me and ask me questions later. If you just want to talk about real estate, that's cool. You don't believe me, you don't have to buy or sell a house with me. I just love to talk about real estate, as you can tell, because I keep coming on these videos. And but shoot me a question, because I'm trying to get as many questions as I can to either answer in these or answer in my reels on Instagram. I've got a bunch of those stored up to get out to you. So anyway, I really appreciate it. Again, my name is Amy Cesario. I'm a realtor in Denver, Colorado. If you want to talk real estate, I want to talk real estate with you. So give me a call, send me a message, text me. For those of you who watched live, if you don't mind giving me a thumbs up after I post this, it might take me a half hour, an hour to post this, but if you don't mind giving me a thumbs up or a heart or whatever it is, that would be fantastic, because Instagram gives us bonus points when people like our stuff, and then it gets obviously pushed out to more people. So I appreciate that. I hope you have a fabulous day. I didn't even talk about the weather, but it's 89 degrees here today, supposedly. I've got to go get some sun on my legs. Got to get my walk in. Talk to you soon. Bye.